Oh, me. Anyway. So, yeah, it's all good. Like I said, pumped about the record. Very excited. I'm excited for you.
What's your favorite song so far? Any?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I was going to say A New Low.
Oh, yeah, it's one of my
It's
favorites. I love that song.
Yeah, I'll save the really juicy stuff for the main event here, but yeah, I really feel like I love Soul Searching Sun and I love Broken Valley more than most people, but I really feel like this is the record that is like a successor to Ugly and
I've heard that before.
There's new stuff too, and there's little bits of other things in there too, but I feel like we'll get into it, but I feel like, wow, it's like, that's what not that I was hoping for that, but like, it's familiar. It's what you know, and it feels right. So, I mean, when you get that kind of, you don't get that a lot with a lot of bands, and, you don't want to repeat yourself, and some bands do.
Yeah.
And
we can. We can't.
We don't even really know how to repeat
we
ourselves
don't,
if
we don't think
to.
about doing that, but,
right.
But even if we could, we wouldn't.
Right, well, you want to sound like you.
Yeah.
And you but you also want to progress, and that's part of being an artist.
Of course.
And artists.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so happy to hear it, and again, I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, we can't either, as you can imagine.
Because it's gonna be awesome when they do. Because I think it's needed. It's almost needed. It's like I feel a lot of music is healing. There's like a really crazy time in the world, and what we need is it's like a bowl of mac and cheese or your mom's soup. We need like good music right now. For like
big bowl of lobster mac and cheese with the
lobster
fucking breadcrumb. Forget about just mac and cheese. We gotta throw the lobster, the breadcrumb, and maybe a couple of scallops.
I can't even think about food. We just had it lunch.
I heard, yeah. All right, well,
I'm ready for a lobster roll.
Pinkies up at with Life of Agony, and it's all fancy all the time. We'll go to City Island for that. I don't know where you would go in Brooklyn for a good seafood. You got any idea? You might know.
There's a bunch of Italian
called
places.
Sheepshead Bay. What's that place called? Right on the water there in
Not
Sheepshead
Nick's
Bay.
Lobster.
No, in Sheepshead. There's a famous one.
Oh, by the UN.
Yeah, they have clams. They have raw oyster, raw clam.
Yeah.
It's famous, but it's good. So yeah, I mean, so you're digging it then?
So good. So yeah, we'll jump into it. I think we're rolling, right?
Yeah, you're good to go.
All right. So yeah, so we'll jump into a conversation with the impeccable Life of Agony minus Sal.
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit. We'll catch him another time. Mina, Joey Z, Alan Robert, Keefe from Ghost Cult. Let's do this. Really excited to talk about the brand new record, A Place Where There's No More Pain, coming out April 28th from Napalm Records. And like I said before we started, really excited about, I think a lot of people will find the sound to feel comforting. It's a throwback in a way. It's new, it's fresh, but it sounds like Life of Agony should sound. And I want to say I've gotten to jam it out a lot. And it's like a spiritual successor to River Runs Red and Ugly. Almost could have come out within a year of Ugly. That's how it sounds to me. A lot of familiar themes, a lot of familiar just jammage, just really like this is their sound. So right off the bat, I wanted to ask about the writing. You've been at it for a while. This has been in the making for a few years. Talk about the creative process of making this record that is, I can't wait for people to hear it.
Well, basically, it was definitely a big collaboration. We did this, the collaborating differently on this record. A lot of ideas, as you know, nowadays you have email and you have different platforms where you could share ideas. So a lot of this was, a lot of the music sharing was over email, believe it or not, just because logistically we live so far from each other. To get together, believe it or not, it's difficult at times to get together in one room to make the schedules work out, to do that. So, basically for this record, all the guys, and I've been saying this a lot, like everyone plays guitar in this record. I mean, in this band, I should say. Everyone plays guitar. I play the guitar on the record, but everyone plays guitar in this band. So a lot of people, everyone had, all the guys and gal had a lot of ideas to contribute, and Sal was a big driving force with guitar riffs on this record. He had a lot of really badass, heavy, dark riffs. So remaining open, I think everyone remaining open to everyone else's ideas is very important, and we maintain that. And I have no problem with you know, having a boatload. You know, none of us have a problem with having a boatload of ideas like that on the table to form these songs. And it was not a painful creative process, right? It was not a painful process.
Yeah, I think it allowed us to have the space on our own time to like develop ideas. Like even if any one of us came up with a song seed, let's say, and handed it off to the next cat
to let it grow
and
know?
Expand on those ideas, it was very organic because we had time to have the music come out of us and then pass it along to the next cat to develop it even more, and it just kind of built like that. And it's like we were on the same page for the first time in our whole career, that we had the honesty between us that we could push the other guy, hey, what if you did this, or what if we did that? And
Or that's not working.
Yeah.
What if we took it down a different road? You know, like there was a lot of, you know, like Alan said, honesty and being very open with each other about what's working, what's
that
not.
That verse or chorus sucks. Can we make it stronger? Oh no, I'm attached to it. Al, give it a fucking go, you know. And then we would just kind of like, you know, like with Dead Speak Kindly. It was about someone that Al's cousin that he
Passed
lost from cancer,
cancer.
and Al kind of couldn't finish the song in a way, and asked me to finish up, and so I did, and it's his favorite piece on the album, and the boys really pretty much wrote all the bone crushing material, and when they wanted a quiet moment, they came to me and asked me to make a little funeral march, pretty much, something like Broken Valleys, No One Survives, which came to my mind to kind of close off the record. But for the most part, the boys, they write all the bone crushing material, and then at the very, when the boys love the shells, then if Alan has a full song lyrically or melodically or just a part, he would, you know, I would, you know, maybe Joey sends in a song, Sal hated it, we redo it, same thing with Alan, we'd totally do it, Alan was stuck on words and lyrics that went to this old song that wound up getting thrown away, and then I'll be like, hey Mina, can you maybe try and use these words and add new melodies, if it works, and then like, that's how World Gone Mad blossomed. Al had written penned an original idea, music, melodies, and lyrics. Sal didn't like it or whatever, and they went back to the drawing board. Al was attached to the original melodies, to the lyrics that he had for this song that he couldn't get out of his head, so asked me to basically rewrite melodically, maybe write melodies that can fit into this new song in a sense, and it either worked out or it didn't, and that's how it was very open-end process, very creative.
Every song had a different genesis.
Lots of creating and lots of destroying. No one was really attached to anything. No one put their feelings. There was feelings for the songs, but there was no feelings like, you know, hey, like during the Ugly era, we could not get along. Right. We were fighting. You know, it was just
the worst
mess.
part of Ugly was the awkward, lingering silence when we were in the room trying to write that. I mean, no one wanted to. It was kind of like walking on eggshells a bit, like trying to share ideas in the room. I think that we were just young and immature, and weren't open to collaborating the way that we do now. You know, I guess the years will do that to you, and you know, the things that you get hung up on in the past don't mean that much anymore as you have your own families and grow through.
There's so much more to worry about than a freaking
The
song
shit we
idea.
worried about when we were in our 20s.
Couldn't give two shits.
We fucking can't even believe we would actually worry about that kind of one-dimensional stuff when we were in our 20s.
You know, nowadays it's like, all right, here's this idea. You like it? No. Okay. Here's another idea.
Here's another idea.
Like it? No. Fuck off. Next.
You know, and a big attribute, you know, to the whole entire record and how it turned out, I gotta bring it up, is that, you know, Matt Brown, who co-produced with the band, you know, I you know, we make sure that we, you know, say it on almost every interview that Matt, you know, was such an integral part of the process to get to get us to perform the way we did, and to get the album to sound the way it did, and sonically come out the way it did. And again, like, you know, without those performances, without being able to lay down proper performances and bring yourself to a place or a zone where you could be comfortable enough to lay down a really good performance, you know, you wouldn't have the record that we have. So Matt was a really important piece of that puzzle that helped each of us individually get those performance out from inside of us. And a lot of credit, you know, we give Matt a lot of credit for how it all turned out in the end, and can't thank him enough, obviously, for sticking by us and sticking through all the long hours and the long
We couldn't have
weeks.
been able to do the record
And even
without
at the
Matt.
very last hours when we had to send the tracks to master,
He's still
he was
fuddling.
like, "But wait," and I'm like, "We gotta stop, bro. We gotta stop."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
he
gotta-
was like,
you gotta
He
call
just would not, you know, let it go, man.
It's great. You got that was a phenomenal answer, by the way. What a team answer that was. And it says a lot. I'll just segue to Matt. That's a great compliment, because all of you have produced your own material for others. You know what makes a good record.
Yeah.
You know what makes a good Life of Agony record or a great record. So that's a high compliment. I mean, Matt's well known, well known for his work. So that's terrific, and obviously makes the process a lot better, because again, this business, right? You need complete and total. It's hard to get complete agreements on anything.
yeah.
But you know,
You
it's
need
like a
sincerity,
family. But
too.
You need
yeah.
sincerity. You need
And
someone
Matt,
to tell you that it could be
yeah.
better.
right on. So moving along, so many directions to go in, but I definitely, again, I wanted to hit on this thing. There's the throwback sound of the record, really phenomenal lyrics, very, kind of wizened and philosophical, but, not out of line for what any Life of Agony record would have. Very raw.
Yeah.
Street guttural wisdom.
Right back to the core. So, it just makes me think about, where you've all come in life. You've been back together for, I think, over 15 years, here and there, and obviously Broken Valley.
I love our chain of, like, brokenness.
I know.
Like,
Well,
it's hysterical.
Well, that's life, right?
Because everyone says
that's
it
part of
like...
it.
It's not.
It's what makes it. It's what makes it great when it's here.
Right.
When
It's not a straight
happening.
line. Right.
Right,
It's
right.
a journey, and that's the thing to
Yeah,
me about
absolutely.
this band and about life in general.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask about lyrics and also performing these songs and these performances of these emotions and these topics. What does it mean to you? What's it going to mean to you when you get to play some of this stuff live? You
can't
guys are
wait.
hitting the road soon, so
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's first of all, going through all the the emotions recording, just knowing that it's been 12 years since the world has heard any one single brand new note of yourself or your band or Life of Agony. You put a lot of pressure on yourself, of course, naturally, and just really. When we were, when Matt and I, at least I can speak for myself, were laying down the guitars, there was a lot of amazing moments, and then there was a lot of tough moments where you think you laid down something great, but, Matt will turn around and go, that was really cool, now do it again, and it was like, wow, and my eye, drenched in sweat, but those were the moments that made it so great. It was like, okay, let's hit it again, and all that work.
Yeah,
really,
just when you thought you'd fucking nailed it, it's like, Mina, that was fucking out of sight, but let's do it again. We need another one.
Yep.
Okay.
We need another one. We need another layer.
Really,
We-
Matt?
yeah.
Really,
So,
dude?
That
Been singing
the
for 5
importance of
hours.
that was
Kubrick.
crucial.
Yeah.
The importance of that was super crucial to the.
Or Lynch,
Mm.
how he treated the actress Laura Palmer in,
Right.
in Fire Walk With Me. I think she had to do, like, literally fucking 100 takes of this one scene where she, like, completely lost her fucking whole shit, man. Broke down during the whole movie, and this whole deal went on. But,
And then, of course,
Sorry.
you know, no, Mina, you know, could probably share with you how the vocally, I mean, it was a fun process,
Yeah.
at least for the guitars. I know we worked our asses off,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of great times that we had. And
No,
I
same for
heard
me.
Matt would tell me that her experiences with Mina were much the same, like a
Yeah.
lot of hard work and
Yeah.
a lot of emotional moments. And
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's a process, right? It's not. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So
Yeah.
it's making art, and it's making art translate into something, a finished product, unfortunately, but that's what it is.
You
But
know
anyway,
what it is too is like we're our own worst critics, you know,
Sure.
and we have certain standards of what we should sound like, and especially having the creative control that we had on this record, like, you know, it was up to us to push each other, and it was up to Matt to kind of act like a fifth member, and you know, have his standards in there too, you know. So
Yep.
everyone was just pushing each other to make the best thing we could possibly make.
A lot of wisdom and union towards a common goal, if there was one, was everybody was pretty much on the same page, and I think that's why chemically it worked out, because everybody was chemically after the same end result, and that was gratification, you know.
But it's a strange thing because art is subjective, right? So
Right.
sure, we talked about the type of record we wanted to make, but it's not like you could go, and that's what it should be
and
like.
press a button, or
And
you
everyone
know,
had the same picture of that. So there's a lot of conversations, a lot of talk about what it should be, but until you actually achieve it, you don't know what it is,
Right.
you know. And unless it's tangible, and you can hear
Yeah.
it, right? And I think we can finally listen back to it and go, yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, the intensity that we tried to reach.
awesome. I'm getting the rep sign.
What? Alright.
Yeah, it's
Let's
okay.
try
I
to
think there's a
squeeze in.
line of people waiting, but I do want to ask one last question, which is, so we got the record release April 28th. Irving Plaza, a place you have played many times, performed many times, probably seen bands
Mm-hmm.
many times. I think River Runs Again was done in part there.
Yeah.
I was there for that also. I think
Yeah.
you were too, Omar. So I wanted to ask how that's going to be. Fans, friends, family.
Wow.
It's going
That's
to
gonna
be
be some night.
major.
It's gonna be a chaotic mess that night.
That's gonna it's gonna be so. I mean, it's totally exciting, of course, for us. And
I'm not showing up.
old school.
He just shit his fucking pants.
Just to get to play some of these new tunes.
Start the rumor.
Just to change the setup a bit is going to be a relief to me.
Right on. Right on.
Just to change the set. We've been at it for a long time, as you know, and any chance to put a fresh vibe, throw a fresh spin on the set is a good, you know, especially with these songs. And there's a lot of good, almost all of them, you know, I would say would be live tracks. So,
One would hope. The record is that deep. I could see it.
yep,
I could really see
it
it.
definitely goes deep.
Yeah.
You've really listened, I can tell.
I tried.
Yeah.
Here's the link. Listen to it countless times. Life of Agony. Thank you so much. Thank you for this record.
Thank you.
Can't wait for a place where there's no more pain. April 28th, Napalm Records. I'm Keefe. Ghost Cult, ghostcultmag.com. We're out.
Peace.